Hello, good morning, and welcome to forexforsteadyprofit.com. I use the Commitment of Traders report, which comes out every week on a Friday, and I need to give me an idea of market direction. I analyze the ratios of longs to shorts for the commercials and non-commercials, and I also look at the divergence on the pairs, and it gives me an idea of market direction. We'll just go and have a quick look at the charts. So here we have the Commitment of Traders information in its raw form. You get the non-commercial positions and the commercial positions, long and short, and then you get the change in open interest. And you also get that broken down underneath for longs and shorts for both the commercials and the non-commercials. And we can see this broken down into a graph over a period of time, which also gives us comparatives, which are also very useful to look back on the history. And so we'll go and do that right now. And here we have a graph of the positions over 52 weeks, that's a year, for the commitment of traders of the commercials and non-commercials. And this is for the Australian dollar. This chart is produced by cotbase.com. And you can see here where we got to a low position with the commercials, and we're completely opposite to the speculators, and they've got a long position, so we're short. You can see we had a big drop off in the price of the Australian dollar. Conversely, when we were at a high and very bullish for the commercials, and we were fairly bearish for the non-commercials, that we actually had a hike in the rise of the price of the Australian dollar. This is a very useful tool to be using, and we can show you other ways that we use it and other things that we do with it. So here we have the Australian dollar, US dollar, and we've got the RSI. Now if we put a trend line on the RSI and we wait for it to go above the 69.1 and come back down and cut through it, this gives us a sell signal. Now, this obviously would have been a very good sell signal here. We had a sell signal here indicating this big long fall that we've had. And quite recently, we've had a rise in the price of the Australian dollar, which it's just going through the 50 here, and I'm expecting it to turn back down and cut through the trend line, which will give us another sell signal because we have an extreme position of short the commercials and long the non-commercials on the Commitment of Traders report, and this should be quite a long sustained downward trend, which is always very profitable. Last bit of information, this is Ludwig's divergence calculator, and it works really well, and this helps us with the crosses. These are the currencies against the US dollar, and here we have the crosses calculated, and it gives us a divergence value between the commercials and the non-commercials, and it shows some of the pairs that are of more interest than others. A very useful tool, only available on the Members Centre, and the pairs that are of most interest we do feature on the video on the Members Centre every day, so you get a daily video on those. This morning it's the 18th of October and it's just after 10 o'clock. We'll start this morning again with the AUD USD. I've said it before, we've got a commercials ratio short of 7.42 to 1. The last 3 days, trading days, we've seen a little bit of a fall off. All of this fall is only 60 pips. We're now coming down onto a little bit of support here. Hopefully that'll break through, and we'll see a follow-on short with this. We broke through the RSI broke through the trend line a couple of days ago, so we'll see how it goes, but I'm thinking this should follow on through short. I've got quite a big position on that. GB USD. Seeing a little bit of firming in the dollar and obviously a bit of weakness in the pound after all the problems that they're having in England. So a commercial short ratio for the pound of 1.32 to 1, which isn't absolutely terrific. The USD CAD, we've got a short ratio of 3.95 to 1. That's short the Canadian dollar, so long the pair. Basically, it hasn't done anything the last about 10 trading days. I'm really expecting better things of this, but at the moment, it's just basically sideways movement. The RSI is just above the 50. I would have expected a bit more of this, but it's just going sideways at the moment. We've had an increase in the price of oil, but it hasn't really given much strength to the Canadian dollar. And I think that increase is going to fade, especially now I think the troops have taken Raqqa, and as long as they can actually secure the oil supply, then I think we're going to see a bit of a sell-off in the oil price. Euro dollar short ratio of 1.74 to 1. This is actually quite large considering the position it's had over the last 3 years. So over a 3-year period, this is probably the most bearish they have been for the euro. We've had about 5 short candles. It just keeps going down nicely. We're moving into Thursday, which of course we get the decision from Catalan, I believe, on Thursday, unless it's delayed. So we're just seeing a bit of a sell-off in this, and you know, I might take what little profit I have before the Thursday decision. Okay. USD JPY. I said this the other day. I was expecting a bit more strength in the pair. I am expecting them to go up to at least this blue line, which is like a weekly turning point. We have a commercial short ratio of 3.4 to 1, which is decreased over the year, but it's actually larger than it was last week. We've bounced off the 50 and we're heading back up. I expect to see a little bit more strength in this pair over the next 2 or 3 days. So we'll see what happens, but it is a fairly good sell where it is. But there are better crosses out there, much better crosses. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, nice drop today. We've got a commercial short ratio of 1.67 to 1. So this, I believe, is just a little bit of strength in the dollar rather than weakness in the New Zealand dollar. We've come down and we've actually cut through the trend line on the RSI. So really, I am expecting this to follow on through. And I believe by the time we get to Friday, we will see this short ratio increased. Because yeah, I believe we're going to see that increase. So that's where we go with that one. Again, there's better opportunities on the crosses than directly against the US dollar. Silver, strengthening on the dollar, hey ho, weakening on the silver. So we've seen 3 nice candles down. I've got my trade in already. I don't really want to do any more. We're below the 50 on the RSI. We bounced off the resistance line that I put on the RSI, and we're heading down below the 50. So I see that following through, but we'll see where that gets to later on. Oil prices, they seem to be flagging across this resistance here. We've seen it. We've seen the strength that this has got in the past. It's the 52 mark. I don't know how much longer the oil price is going to hold up, but I don't expect it to hold up to the end of next week. I think we're going to see some move down on these prices. So we'll see where that goes. We'll also look at the commitment and traders on Friday. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and hopefully see you again tomorrow. And thanks everybody for the likes and the comments. Always appreciate a little bit of attention. Okay, cheers now.